Hello, you all, and thank you for tuning into the commentary of my video excerpt from my poem, my poetry book that was recently relaunched or republished, called Speak to the Spirit, Inspirational and Insightful Poetry. And this video is commentary for the poem God's Creation. And so I'm assuming if you're watching this video, it's because you watched the original poem, the video excerpt, and you want a little bit more information about the poem. And so I created this video to give people an in-depth look into my thinking behind the poem, what I meant with the poem, and things like that. And so if you watched the video beforehand, thank you for watching. And then also thank you for watching this video. And if you haven't watched the video beforehand, hopefully by watching this video, it will draw your interest to watch the actual video excerpt. And you'll be blessed by it. That's my ultimate intention, is to bless the hearts and minds of people, because we can never get too much of that. And so the poem that I am talking about today is called God's Creation, and I'm just going to open it really quickly here so I can take a look at it myself as I'm talking about it. Something that some people don't know is that if you download, so I have a hard copy of the book and then a downloadable copy, of course. And on Amazon, if you download the digital version of the book on Kindle, there are images in those books. So if you get the hard copy, there are no images in there. But if you get the Amazon digital version, the Kindle version, there are images in the book, and they really enhance like the poems and what they're about. And you can see that a little bit in my video excerpt as well, because I'm not only a poet, but I have a little bit of graphic design skills, so I like to throw that stuff in when I can. So anyway, so here we go, God's Creation. I'm looking at it in the book here. This is actually the older book that I had before. I don't, if you know, this is a revision. So this book that I have here is the first version of the book, but there's a revision out now, which is why I'm making this video, because it's a relaunch. Okay, so God's Creation. So God's Creation. This poem was written. I don't know exactly when I wrote it. I actually don't remember when I exactly wrote any of the poems. But to give an estimate, I wrote this poem probably about 15 years ago. Maybe a little bit longer, but at the minimum 15 years. The poems in the book span from about 20 years. So some of the poems in there I wrote when I was as young as 15 years old. And then the more recent poem that I've written in there, I think I was about 25 or no, about 30. 32. So I haven't actually written any poetry in a very long time, but so that's the span of the poems in the book. So they kind of span over 20 years. And so this poem here, God's Creation, I wrote about 15 years ago. And one of the reasons why I wrote it is because I was kind of taken aback in my own, observation. I'm a very observant person. I'm always trying to pay attention to what is going on around me and understand the deeper meaning behind these things. And so I was taken aback at that time during my life about how much people complained about God and what he's doing and what he's not doing, when he in fact gave us the entire reality and the body and the universe that we have now. So, I mean, you see so many people who get discouraged because God doesn't answer prayers when they want them to be answered, or bad things happen to them and they don't understand why God allows them, or they see a lot of bad things happening in the world and they don't understand why God intervenes. And even though a lot of times those things are done out of innocence and we don't necessarily look at them like we're questioning God, at the end of the day, that's actually what we're doing. We're saying, God, what is wrong with you? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? There's a problem with how you're running this world. And I've heard people just say that outright, like God is not running the world right. And I've even heard somebody, which, he probably was a little bit crazy, a little bit, saying that he wish he had the controls of the world because he would do it better than God. So, yeah. But even with that thinking, you have to understand that the same God that is not necessarily running the world the way that we want and intervening the way that we want, he still created even the ability for us to observe what he's doing and have an opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this book points at. It points to the fact that, yes, things are not going right, but look at all these other things that God has done for us. It shows his sovereignty. It shows his power. It shows his meticulousness in the way that he thinks. It shows that he wants us to, understand the power that we have in ourselves, by being able to think, by being able to feel, by being able to reason. So in the story, I talk about how God created, in the poem, I'm sorry, I talk about how God created our bodies, that we have, we can cry, that we have wounds, that we can bleed. I talk about how we have lungs that we can breathe, and how we are able to love, and how we have a mind to believe things. Like, these things are a lot of stuff that we take for granted on a regular basis, and we don't understand that, yes, you might have things not going right on this end, but look at all the blessing, and understand the God who gave us the things that we do have. And so once the poem starts off by kind of explaining some of the things that we have, then it goes into the question of, yeah, we have all of these things, and the God that gave them to us, so why do we so quickly point the finger and say he's not doing things correctly when it's not going the way that we want it to go? And so it kind of points out that we shouldn't do that, and that we should learn to trust him more, since he's given us the universe, the sun, the stars, the moon, our eyes, our mouth, our teeth, our hands. My hand is moving here. God gave me this hand. So he's given us all these other things, and so we can trust him a little bit more, and that even if we don't, we're still in the palm of his hands. Like, it doesn't matter if you like what God did, if you didn't like what God did. We're in the palm of his hands. We're very vulnerable to him. So it's in our best interest to just trust him and do the best we can to strive forward and understand his reason behind why he does things or does not do things. Because at the end of the day, there's no escape from the palm of his hand. So that's my commentary on my breakdown of God's creation. Again, I hope it was a blessing for you all who read it, or saw the video, or read the book, and that it gave you a little bit deeper perspective on life, which again is always my aim. And so that's it. So I hope you check out my other videos. I have other videos, video excerpts about the poems in my book. You can check out those if you like this one. And if you really, really like this one and the other ones, you can go ahead and get a copy of my book. You can get it on Amazon, Smashwords, or my website. And the information for that should be somewhere on this webpage that you're watching this video on, or on my YouTube page, which you may also be watching this video on. So, and if you don't see it, there's a link around here somewhere, so you can click on it and get more information about more video excerpts and more commentary, and where you can purchase a book. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you watch other videos. Thanks. Bye.